Alright, guys, welcome back to episode 3. Welcome back, horse girls and guys. I need to get used to saying that. I apologize. But welcome back to episode 3 of the Horse Girl Hype if you are listening on Spotify or Anchor. If you are watching from YouTube, welcome back to the channel. I'm excited that we made it to a 3rd episode. Very proud of myself. But today, I have a few topics that I want to talk about, and thank you guys who left suggestions on the last episode, and thank you also to the person that pointed out my air conditioner was on. I apologize, I didn't even think about my air conditioner being on, but it was on. So today I turned it off, and hopefully that helps the audio a little bit and there's not just like white noise in the background. So my apologies for that. Still getting used to this whole recording thing. But it's off today, so hopefully that helps. Some updates for you guys, if you are tuning in from the last episode. I talked about having Dolly for sale. I showed Dolly to some people last night, so she's currently pending. Cross our fingers that they go through with it. I think they want to pick her up in a couple days, but she was really good for them last night, and so I'm excited for that. I hope you guys, also back to school, congrats to all the students out there. I'm so glad I'm not a student anymore, I'll be honest. But congrats if you're going back to school. Great, I hope you have a good year. All of you college students, I hope you have a good year. If you're graduating, you can do it. You can get through this last year of classes. I know some people that, like, when I was in high school, would like drop out of school on their senior year, and I still to this day, I'm never gonna understand that. I don't know why you would drop out your last 2 semesters. Like, just finish it out. You can do it. You got it. If you've considered dropping out, I believe in you. Just get through it and you will thank yourself later. But I actually graduated high school early. So I graduated a semester early, and if any of you guys are considering doing that and want some advice from someone that did it, I do not regret it by any means. I know some people, like, in grades below me thought about doing it and asked me, if I regretted it or anything, and I absolutely did not for a second. But high school was just not really my thing. I didn't really have any friends in high school. I had one friend, but it was not for me at all. I always felt like I was in a different stage of my life than my classmates, and I did not party. I did not have a big group of friends. I wasn't really athletic at all either, so it just was not for me. Everyone was so immature and just, I don't know. It wasn't for me. So I had no issues graduating early. I actually needed 2 more credits to graduate early. So at semester, if I would have done just a normal year, at semester I still would have been 2 credits behind. So I actually took 2 classes online outside of school just so I could graduate early. So I had a full schedule, full 8 classes. I did not have a senior release period. I gave that up. I didn't have a senior release period, so I had a full 8 blocks, and then I took 2 classes outside, so I took 10 classes. But the 2 that were online that I took outside of school were super easy. They were super easy classes. They didn't really require any homework. They were just online videos that you had to watch, but you got a credit for them after you finished it. So they were really easy. And being they were online, you could work ahead if you wanted, so I think I tried to work ahead to get them done early, and it worked out for me. But I know it doesn't always work out for some seniors based on what they want, what classes they want to take. And I was also ahead in my college degree because I took college classes in high school. So if you have that option, I would absolutely recommend it because they're free. You don't have to pay for them. And if they go towards your degree, you can use them in college if you're going, and you're already ahead. So that was really helpful for me. But I went to college for business management, so I have a degree in business management, and I did it all online. So if you guys are considering that, it's really personal preference. I did mine all online, but I was also like disciplined enough to do the work at home with nobody telling me or harassing me to get it done. But I don't know, I liked it. I got it done in like, I think 3 years. It was a 2-year degree, but I got it done in 3 years because I was a part-time student the whole time, working and doing horses and stuff. So anyways, if you're going back to school, congrats. Hope you have a great year. Stick with it. It'll probably wear off in like the next 2 weeks, but anyway, yeah, hope you guys have a good year. So anyways, yeah, Dolly is pending. Hopefully she will be picked up in a couple days, and I really am hopeful for this one. I mentioned in the first episode that somebody wanted her, but they had to back out due to finances and stuff like that, and it happens. Like, I'm not bitter about it, but I hope this one works out. It sounds like this girl has a couple toddlers, and they'd like to do just some like trail riding and stuff, and something for their kids to be around and stuff. So I don't know, I hope it works out. She's not too far away from me either. Like, she's pretty local, so that's kind of nice. Like, when you sell horses that are like hours away, sometimes you just don't really know if you're ever going to see them again, or if people will bring them back if it doesn't work out. So yeah, it's kind of nice that she's local. And I always tell people, like, when I sell horses to them, I always try to like make it very clear that I will always take the horses back. I think that's just really important with a business like I do, flipping in quotes, or trading horses. I don't have a problem calling myself a horse trader. I mean, I buy these horses that are projects with intentions to resell them, to get them into a better home, or to give them a job in life so I can be that stepping stone for them. But I think it's really important for me to stress to the buyers, like, if something happens, if they don't work out, they're not what you thought, I will give you your money back and they can come back here. I have no problem with that. I just don't want something bad to happen to them. The only time I've ever told somebody no was with Luna the very first time I sold her. But that was because that was, I think, the only one that has ever asked me to take a horse back. But I had her at a boarding place, and then I had already taken on another horse, so I wasn't able to at the time. But now that I have my own place, like, it's kind of different, you know, they can come back and whatever. So I hope it works out for her. The people seem really nice, and they rode her last night, and she behaved really well for them. So I think as long as they are riding her and keeping her in like somewhat regular work, I think she'll be good for them. But yeah, so have that going on. I also have started a new project, I guess you could say. I've always got projects going on. If you guys watch my YouTube channel, you know I've always got like 10 projects happening, and they all take forever to finish because I'm trying to work on all of them. But aside from my fence project that I'm putting up, I got a telephone pole, which I guess I've had this telephone pole. It's just been sitting on our lane forever in like the tall grass, because I'm assuming the power company, it was the old one when they replaced the one that's down there. So it's just been sitting like in the ditch forever. So I pulled it out of the ditch and drug it up my driveway the other day. I cut it yesterday to the length I need, and I'm going to try, emphasis on try, to build my horses a shelter. Just like a lean-to type of thing, nothing fancy, but I would like to have something before winter, because last winter I didn't have a shelter, and it was just BB and Grace. But BB did shiver a few times, so I had to go buy her a blanket, and I don't blanket my horses, like, unless absolutely necessary, but she was like really shivering, and so I felt like, I don't want her to, you know, burn more calories than necessary. So on those days I did buy a medium blanket and blanketed her. But Grace was completely fine. The only reason I'm really stressing about it is because that one lot that they were in, which is where Hazel is now, like, it's pretty open on the north side, and that north wind just smacks that lot. And I think that was the biggest thing. I think that's really what was making BB shiver last winter, is because the strong winds just blow through that lot so hard, and there was no wind block. So if it wasn't windy, or if she had a place to get out of the wind, I think she would have been fine, but there wasn't. So yeah, I'm hoping to have something up by, you know, snow season. I think they'll be fine until then, but it would just be nice to have, you know, a wind block or just somewhere they can get out of the elements a little bit. So I have got the telephone pole cut into two 10-foot poles. So I'm going to try maybe today to dig like the post holes for them, but we'll see how that goes. I need to find another telephone pole so that I have four corners, but it's kind of really hard to find. There's nothing on Facebook Marketplace. I couldn't find anything on Craigslist. I know that like your power companies usually will give you the old telephone poles once they've retired them, but I asked our local, like the one that we use, our power company, and they said they didn't have any available right now. And my dad usually gets them from his power company, but they only allow for pickup of the poles on like Wednesday mornings or something, like a weekday morning, and I'm sure I will need help like lifting them because they're obviously not light. So if we go there and cut them, like I'm gonna need help loading them, and on like Wednesday mornings, like I'm gonna have to ask my dad or someone to take off work, and it's like, ugh, why did they pick that day? But yeah, so I need another pole. So I asked my Facebook friends if anyone has a telephone pole laying around their property or something. I need one. So hopefully I can find that. But I really am going to try to do most of it myself. I don't know how it's going to work out, but I have some very experienced builders in my life, so if I need suggestions, like I can totally ask like my brother. He built my shed, and he builds all kinds of stuff. So I'm sure I can ask him for help if I need it. But honestly, my dad has put up several lean-tos in my life. I've taken pictures like of a lot of people on Facebook's lean-tos or like buildings they're advertising for sale. And so I'm like zooming in on how they've constructed them and stuff. So I think I have a pretty good idea. It's just going to be like buying the lumber and stuff. But yeah, so that's another project I have going besides my fence. The fence is going, but I'm doing it very slowly because I'm like acquiring fencing materials as I get paid. So it's not going real fast, but it's going. I've got, let's see, 2 wires up, and I dug out like a whole fence line that ran on like the outside of our property. It was just completely buried. It's an old fence, completely buried in weeds. So I went through last week and dug it all out, cut away all the weeds and like pulled it out, pulled it up, put some more posts in. And so yeah, it's been a real project for that, but hopefully I'll have a little bit bigger of a space for the girls and the goats, hopefully, if they stay in the dang fence soon. Yeah. This weekend, our plans for this weekend, we're going on a big trail ride, so I'm pretty excited about that. I think my friend Melanie is going to be coming with me. She's my trail riding buddy. If you're here from YouTube, I'm sure you know who Melanie is. She's been in all kinds of my videos. And we are going to try and go to this overnight trail ride. It's not too far from me, so hopefully that will work out. We went to this particular trail ride a few years ago, and it was back when I had my project horse, Sarah. If you guys remember Sarah, shout out Sarah. She was a great horse. But we took her to this overnight trail ride, and I was not expecting what we walked into. There was like 100 horses at this trail ride. It was like a big trail ride. People were drunk, people were running, like there was just, it was kind of nuts. So I like barely made it out alive of that trail ride because Sarah was not, like she was not ready for that size of trail ride. Melanie ponied us a lot of the time. And then her horse Cash got sick of ponying us and kept trying to back into Sarah and get her away from him. So I had to go on my own a little bit, but that was a scary ride. Like I honestly was scared on that ride. We didn't even do the second day really. We just went out, me and her, and did a couple little loops and just called it a day. And I even told her, like, you can go out with the trail ride. I will totally not be upset if you go without me. Like, go enjoy it. And she was like, no, I'm not just going to go without you. But this year, I'm going to take an experienced horse. I'm still debating if I want to take Luna or somebody else. I definitely trust Sugar and Baby more because they're so experienced trail horses. But Luna really needs ridden. Like, I've ridden her a couple times this whole summer, but other than that, she really hasn't done anything. So it'd be good for her to go, but she doesn't have to go. I don't know. I'm still debating who I'm going to take. I mean, if I take BB or Sugar, I mean, I can have a relaxing weekend, and, like, I could take some drinks on this ride. I mean, I don't have any problem with, like, drinking on a nice, relaxed ride, as long as people aren't being stupid. That's just my pet peeve, when you're, like, getting smashed out and drunk, and, like, what happened last year was these two guys, I think they showed up, honestly, probably buzzed or drunk, and they were, like, running their horses and just riding like idiots, and they fell way behind the ride. I don't know what they were doing. They wanted to go off on their own. Well, when they wanted to catch back up to the ride, they just ran their horses up, and so they ran up to us, and, like, horses behind us kind of spooked or, like, jumped forward because they didn't know if these horses were going to run into them. But that sent Sarah, like, flying. She couldn't, it was too much for her. She bolted off. Melanie was ponying us, but she lost the rope, obviously, because Sarah just yanked it out of her hand. And luckily, I was able to one rein stop and pull her into a circle to stop, but she would have taken off bucking if I couldn't have gotten control of her. And so some girl turned around to these guys and was like, "You do that again and I will knock your ass off your horse." And they were like, "Oh, was that us? Did we do that?" And everyone was like, "Yeah, you fucking did." So yeah, that was fun. It wasn't fun, just kidding. But we're going to that ride again this year, so I don't know. I might take a more experienced horse or a more laid back horse and just enjoy the weekend and relax, but we'll see what happens. I also did just want to bring up quick, I'm going to be using cuss words in this podcast, so I apologize in advance, I guess, if that doesn't resonate with you, but I am going to be using, I guess, foul language in some people's perspective in this podcast. I just feel like we're here to have a conversation, and this is how I normally talk to people in my life and my friends and stuff, so I really just don't want to have to sit here for an hour and filter myself out. So that's just what we're going to do. If it bothers you, I apologize. YouTube is a little bit more strict about it, so I might go through my YouTube episodes and, like, bleep them out. But if you're listening on another platform, then I'm not gonna go through and edit the whole hour-long audio. So sorry if it bothers you, but that's how it's gonna work. I don't want to filter myself all the time. So anyway, I wanted to talk about a couple things that I've been liking lately. First of all, my boyfriend got us these bracelets. I'll show you in the YouTube video if you're here from YouTube, but I think he got an ambassador code, so if he still has it, I will put it down below, but they're from a brand called Zox, Z-O-X, and they are completely recycled and made out of recycled water bottles, so they're a sustainable company, and if he still has the code, I will put it either on the screen or in the description of this podcast if you're listening. But yeah, mine's pretty cool. He picked out like a paisley pattern one for me, and then he got one as well. And they're like super stretchy. I think you could even use it as a ponytail if you had to. But wanted to mention that, and then I have a video coming about this, and I'm gonna try it out this weekend. But the company sent me a pillow. It's right here next to me if you're watching. But they sent me this pillow, and I applied for this. It's not a sponsorship, like they're not paying me anything. They just sent it to me to try. But it's from a company called Anvo. I think they sent me this little pamphlet with it. Yeah, it's an Anvo user manual. Oh, this is the user manual. Never mind. Memory foam pillow. And it's got a really funky shape. I'm trying to show the YouTube video. I don't know if you guys can tell. It's got a real funky shape. And so I've been trying it out this week, and so far I'm really liking it. I'm probably going to use it actually to sit back on. But it's got the cool shape, and it's got like the neck thing. Like this is where your neck lays, and I have really liked it. I've used it once. I didn't use it last night, but I'm gonna take it this weekend camping because I wanted to try it in my stock trailer. Because if you don't know, I sleep in my stock trailer. I don't have a living quarters trailer, so I want to try it in that and see how comfortable it is like when I'm camping. But so far I'm liking it. No, I don't have a code with them. No, sorry. I wanted to remember if they gave me a code or not, but they did not. So I'm just reviewing it for them, and I'll leave it linked down below if you guys have like neck pain or shoulder pain or anything, because I know I have gotten that from some pillows. Like if pillows are too soft and like not supportive enough, it will like mess with my neck. So if you're looking for a really nice memory foam pillow, I'll leave it linked if you want to check it out or not. No pressure. But yeah. So should we get into today's topic? We're at like 20 something minutes. And today's topic is going to be my experience with the forage-based diet. I know this is kind of like a fad right now, or it's kind of popular. People are looking into it more. But I have kind of dabbled with it and tried it a little bit. I'm not going to say I'm an expert on it, but I have tried it. And I see a lot of people on Instagram trying it or promoting it now, and which I think is great if you can do it. I tried it, and I'll be honest, maybe I'm just doing it wrong. I'm sure I'm just doing it wrong. Like, I do pretty much everything wrong. But I really just didn't see very many results with it. If you guys have tried it, or if your horses are on it, let me know down in the comments how you've liked it, or, you know, how it's worked for you. I know there's definitely a learning curve to it. I was trying it, but I just really couldn't get it to work for my horses. I don't know why. If it's just an only easy keeper type of diet, which I don't think it is. I'm in like this giant forage-based nutrition group on Facebook, and that's kind of where I got into it and started really reading about it and considering it, and there's all kinds of people with all this information that really have liked it. So I wanted to try it, but I just can't get it to work. I don't know what the deal was. I've switched back to just feeding grain now, and yeah, I don't know where I guess I went wrong with it, because it seems to really work for some people, but I also kind of got the impression that it's a lot more expensive, which makes sense. Like, if you're buying all of this stuff, all of these supplements and minerals and things that are normally in a processed grain, like, you're going to spend more than just buying the bag of already pre-mixed stuff. So I wanted to try it, so I tried it a little bit, especially this spring, because my hay quality was really low. So I wanted to supplement them to kind of make up those lost proteins and vitamins and minerals and stuff like that. So I started feeding a mixture of alfalfa pellets, beet pulp. I think I threw some oats in there just for energy because it was still kind of cold out. And then some supplements. I used Mare Magic and I think a salt supplement. So I wanted to give that a shot because my horses have never eaten beet pulp. I've only started feeding beet pulp within the last like year or two since I've had Grace, really. And I was like, my horses are really easy keepers. Like, I think beet pulp is definitely going to like give them the weight support that they need from this crappy hay. And alfalfa pellets are going to replace like the lost protein and stuff. And honestly, they just looked like crap on it. Like, I don't even think, I might as well have just fed them the crappy hay and not even spent the money on alfalfa pellets and beet pulp and all the stuff, because like there was pretty much no difference. I don't know, like I said, if I was just doing it wrong. I think I put oil in it too for some added fat. But I was like, why am I spending the money on this? It doesn't seem like it's even working. But I know it works really well with some people's horses, so I don't know if like my horses are just turning into hard keepers. I can't imagine that they all are, or I was doing it wrong. But I'm like, how can I be doing it wrong? I'm literally giving them like all of the same things that all these people on Facebook are posting about. You know, it's either like Timothy pellets or alfalfa pellets that most of them get, some beet pulp. and then like the supplements and stuff, which really you can tailor to your individual horse. A lot of people like were giving their horses magnesium and all this other stuff, which my horses didn't really need. But they also had access to like a protein and supplement blocks. So I wasn't stressing about adding a whole bunch of salt and stuff like that to their feed because they have free choice of that. Which some people also just don't believe in, which I don't really understand. I know a lot of people that will comment on these, pages that salt blocks and stuff aren't sufficient for horses. They're meant for cattle and their tongues aren't rough enough to eat the salt blocks. And I'm just going to say here, I completely disagree with that. I have had salt blocks, like the 50-pound ones, out for my horses since we've had them, like 15 years ago. And my horses have always very, very well licked salt blocks. They will lick them all the way down until they're gone. I never have to throw any of it away. They will devour the whole thing. Sugar will even bite it sometimes. Like, I don't know why. She'll bite the whole salt block sometimes. But I will see them out there licking a salt block for 10 minutes. If they don't feel like they're getting enough, they will just continue to stand there and lick it until they feel like they're done. So I definitely disagree. I don't know if these people just have never actually fed them or are just going off of what they've read, but I will debunk that personally for myself because I have always given my horses the big salt blocks and they are completely fine. So I don't know where people get that from. I think that's kind of a myth in my opinion, but they've always had access to those and I need to get them another one actually. I think I got paid today, so if I go to the store, I need to put that on my list. I always give them, if I can, I give them a choice between the salt and the mineral blocks. If they can have both, that is ideal because sometimes they don't need the added minerals. They're just looking to replace some salt in the hot weather especially. So if I can give them a choice and put both out for them, I will. But they've always had access to protein blocks as well, so if they don't feel like they're getting enough protein from the feed, they can get it from a block, which, I don't know, I think that's fine. I think the horse is in the body of the horse, so they can decide, if they feel like they're lacking. The same thing goes with humans, I believe. I've always heard this theory that, like, if your body is craving certain things, like, some people will just randomly have a craving for, like, a salad. I know that's not very common, but some people will. And I myself, sometimes I'll just like crave something salty or I'll crave like fruit or something. And they say that that is your body telling you like you're lacking this vitamin or you're lacking this supplement. And so that's why your brain tells you to eat that stuff. Now, I don't know about the whole ice cream and cookies and stuff like that. That might be a whole different thing. That might just be a sugar addiction or something, but that's what they say. So I feel like horses, especially since they don't get ice cream and cookies and stuff, can use their own instincts to decide what they want, especially since their survival instincts are so much better than ours. I feel like they are definitely capable of taking care of themselves like they do out in the wild. So that's my stance on it, but I just really have never had any luck with the forage base. I don't know. So if you guys have had luck with it, let me know down below, or like let me know what your mixture of supplements and your base is, because I would love if my horses, like, I'm a natural person, right? I'm a tree hugger. My family thinks I'm a hippie. I take care of the planet. I like the all natural things, and I also am a natural horsemanship type of person. So if my horses can get as natural as possible, I'm all for it. So if I can figure out like what I was doing wrong, then I will certainly go for it. But I don't know. It's like there's so many steps for it. And if it is going to be like really expensive, then I'm okay with just buying the bagged grain. But I guess there's just a learning curve that I haven't figured out yet. So I don't know. Let me know your guys' thoughts. I used to just feed my horses oats. That's all they used to get. Like when we first bought them, they just used to get like rolled oats, just basic oats, and that's what they got. And they were always fine on that, I guess. Just a second. My recording is going to stop because we're at 30 minutes. So I'm going to have to upload another one. Just 1 second, guys. It's processing. I think I can just start recording another one while it processes. Okay, so as I was saying, my horses used to just get oats. Like, that's all we used to give them. Of course, they got a salt block and stuff like that, but like when we first got them, that's all they used to get. And I don't know, honestly, I don't remember well enough. If I look back on the pictures from back when we first got them, they looked okay, especially Soccer. He always looked fine. And our hay was alfalfa mix, so they never really got anything. And honestly, I think that if your horse does completely fine on no grain and no fancy supplements, like, roll with it. I mean, you don't have to spend excess money on stuff like that just because you feel like you're supposed to. I don't think that I think that's a weird thing that goes on in the equestrian world. But I understand supplements, like if you are doing a specific sport for your horse and want to support like their joints or, you know, provide them with more energy. Like I do endurance with BB, and so when we're at those events, like I give her electrolytes and extra salt and stuff like that. But when we're at home and like most of the season just trail riding and stuff, my horses don't get anything fancy, and if they stay fat enough off of just hay, totally fine with me. And, you know, they've got their salt block and mineral block and whatever. So that's totally fine with me. I don't think there's any reason to spend money on fancy feeds. I know people in my life that, like, I think they just get some sort of thrill off of it. Like, they enjoy the spending the money and the buying things, and so they do it anyway, but it's not totally necessary. So I guess just do what your heart desires, but don't feel bad if, like, you're not feeding your horse all of this stuff because it doesn't need it, you know. And ask your vet if you have questions about, like, ways that you can give your horse better care. Ask your vet. Obviously, vets are not equine nutritionalists or anything. There is a good podcast, actually, that I listen to on occasion called The Equine Connection, and they are, I think, provided by Tribute Feed, but they talked to an equine nutritionalist in that in that podcast. And she gives a lot of really good advice on feed, and, you know, so they talk about donkeys versus horses and what kind of hay to pick out and how to test your hay and stuff, which is also something I see a lot on that Forage-based page, is people getting their hay tested. Also totally fine, like, do what your heart desires. If you think you need to get your hay tested. I've never done that. I've never gotten my hay tested, but if you have, like, let us know your experience with it. Maybe I should do it. Maybe I should do it and like review it or talk about it on the podcast or on my channel. But the thing with me is that I get my hay from so many different sources. I'm going to have to test it like every month. Like, I get new hay like every month because I don't have a huge storage barn or anything. So sometimes I feed just straight grass hay. If I can get my hands on straight alfalfa hay, that's a good price. I'll feed straight alfalfa. I'll feed a mix. It doesn't matter to me, as long as my horses are staying at a good weight. But I see a lot of those people getting their hay tested so that they can alter their supplements based on their hay analysis. And oh my gosh, that sounds like so much work. Which, if you're really invested, if you've got high dollar horses and that's what you want to do it. But man, for me, that would be like a lot of extra work. And so I don't think I'll ever probably go that far. But I would be interested to just send some hay for an analysis and just to read it and see what I get back. I have no idea how long it takes or how much it costs. But it would be interesting to see just kind of how they analyze it. But I don't know. Let me know your thoughts down below on all of that. And I do want to talk about the question of the day. So I'm going to go to YouTube and read this comment. Somebody left this comment on the last episode. And so I just want to read it because she gave me a lot of useful information. I might have to click on it because her comment is so long, like it's not all loading. Shoot. See if I can click on it. Well, I know that she asked, her question was, do you feel like do you feel like you ride, as far as like your discipline, do you ride based on what the local community supports and offers? Because she was telling me in her comment that, you know, the disciplines in her area don't really resonate with like what she wants to do, or she's not really feeling it. So her question was, do you base how you ride, like what disciplines you ride, based on what the local community is doing and offers and supports in their shows and stuff? And I would say absolutely. Thank you, Material World, for submitting this question. But my answer is absolutely, like 100%. So I don't really show. I mean, you guys know that. I do some shows each year, like a few fun shows, or just like, I'm not a heavy shower, but I would say that I absolutely do base how I ride off of what everybody else in the area is doing, because I don't really know what to do otherwise. I dabbled in barrel racing for a little bit, which I still like to barrel race. I still like to do it when we go to the shows and stuff. I've never been heavy on it, but I like to do it. And I've always liked, I kind of like all the disciplines. So in my area, I live in Iowa, and the biggest things in my area are like, you're either a barrel racer, speed event, rodeo type of person, or you are like Western pleasure ranch type of person. And I have respect for both ends of that spectrum, but there's not a lot in between that. Like, I think the majority of people in my area are like Western pleasure, or everybody's a trail rider. You know, if you're not one of those, usually you're a trail rider, and that's about it. That's about all our area offers. So I have always been a very heavy trail rider because I enjoy it, and there's parks, you know, nearby that allow for it. And so I've always done that. And I've never been a heavy shower because I was never like I never got into it when I was younger. So now that I'm older, I'm kind of like behind everybody else. So I would say I definitely have grown up riding the same way everybody else does, or people in my area do, because that's what's available to me. I have recently gotten into endurance in the last couple years, and the only reason that I've got into endurance is because there's a couple people in our saddle club that do it. And one day after a club trail ride, we were sitting around a little fire. Our saddle club does that once in a while. They'll like have a little picnic after the trail ride. So we were sitting around this campfire, talking just about horse things, and the two girls started talking about endurance and their distance rides and, you know, where they go and stuff. And so I started asking questions about it because I didn't really know what it was, and they were telling me about it, and I was like, that sounds like something I would really like. I mean, I'm a trail rider already, so doing trail riding but competitively and a little bit more intense sounds like something that I would totally like. And from what they were telling me about the endurance community, that they are extremely open. The rules are very limited. It's open to everybody. Everyone can compete. Every horse can compete, etc. You know, I really liked that. I was like, that's awesome, because one of the things that kind of deters me from the show community is snobby people, and not feeling like I can ever actually compete because there's all of these people that are doing so much better than me and have so much nicer horses than me and spend so much more money than me. Like, how can I ever compete, really, and ever expect to do well based on that? So when they were telling me about the endurance community and the people involved in it, I was like, oh my gosh, I think I would really like that. Now, endurance / distance riding is not common in this area at all. I know very few people that do it. The only reason, like I said, why I do it is because these two people that are local to me got me into it. And one of them was my friend Brooke. When you guys see my endurance vlogs, usually I'm camping with Brooke, and she kind of mentors me while I'm still learning about it. And we will ride together on the rides if we're doing the same distance, but yeah, I mean, it's not common at all. I mean, I think they're the only two people I know, honestly, in this area that do it. Most of the other endurance people that I've met or come across, like, are at the rides, and the Midwest is not, like, in general very popular. So I will see, like, the same people at each ride, no matter what state we're in. We could be in Iowa, Illinois, Wisconsin. I think there's one in Kansas, maybe. And these same 10 people will go to each ride because it's not, you know, a huge event. So most of the people that I'm Facebook friends with and stuff that are endurance people, they're not from around here. They're from states away. But I've met them a few times at these rides. So I would say yes, growing up I very much have based how I ride off of the community around me. But I'm just starting to dabble in that. So I could do a whole episode on endurance if you guys want. I have talked about it in YouTube videos. If you're watching on YouTube, I'll put a link to my endurance video for beginners up there. But yeah, I mean, that's kind of where I'm at with it. I just have done kind of whatever I can get my hands on here. I don't really know I don't know what advice to give, especially if you don't have a truck and trailer. Like, if you cannot trailer yourself farther away to do the discipline you want, you really are kind of limited that way. If you are able to travel with someone, or try and make a friend with somebody. Like, if you want to get into, say, hunter jumpers, and hunter jumpers is not popular in your area at all, it's not in mine, that's for sure, I would try to reach out to somebody like in a hunter jumper group, or if you know one or two people that do hunter jumpers, reach out to them and see if you could trailer along with them if you pitch in with gas money or whatever, if they're going somewhere to show. And hopefully they're not snobby people. Like, I should do an episode on how I feel about, like, show snobby people, but that really sucks. Like, it really sucks when people are like that. So I totally understand not, like, feeling comfortable to reach out. But yeah, so endurance, let me know if you guys want a podcast on endurance. I can answer all your guys' questions about it. I didn't do a whole lot with BB this year, just based on her weight issues. If you followed me on YouTube, you know about her weight issues. I've tried all summer to get her to gain weight, and I had gotten her to gain a little bit of weight, but she is still definitely underweight. She's got a dental appointment in a couple days, so she's going to the vet to get her teeth done, and I might have them do a fecal as well, just to see if I need to deworm her again. I dewormed her several times this spring, but hopefully we can get to the bottom of this, because there is a ride in October that I would like to get to if I can, you know, just to kind of round out the season, round out the summer. And if I could get her to do a 25, that would be great. I did all 12s this year, because, like, her weight and stuff, and I didn't want to override her, and that's the only time I've ridden her all year, is just at, like, a couple events, and maybe one short trail ride around my property, so she's not getting worked very much at all. And at the rides that I took her to, she won one of them, the first one, and then the other one we didn't place, but that was because we took too much time. But at the first one, when she won, the guy that was taking pulses and stuff, he was like, how old is this horse? And I was like, she's only, you know, in her upper teens, like she's 17 or 18. He's like, wow. You know, he kind of commented on her weight because he thought she was older than that because she was thin. And he's like, well, you got a really good horse here, because her pulse is like nothing. She's pulsed in at 11, which is very low. Like, that's basically just standing in a pasture heart rate. And So obviously I had just ridden like 15 miles because we got lost. And I come back in, and in 10 minutes her heart rate is completely normal. So he's like, you got a really good horse, obviously, because she ain't tired. She ain't hardly been working. So I felt really good hearing that, because I know obviously I'm not overriding her. I'm not pushing her past her limits. She's not struggling at all. Obviously she's burning calories, but regardless, like, she's not, struggling. So I felt really good hearing that. I was like, thank you, because, I've been really trying to get her weight back up. So I really hope this vet appointment, like, is the icing on the cake, and we can just be done with this whole weight struggle, because the cold weather is going to be coming soon, and I don't know what else to do. She's getting beet pulp. She's getting really high fat and protein grain, and I don't want to have to spend $45 on, like, a weight builder powder that she's going to go through in 2 weeks. So cross our fingers. She's also getting straight alfalfa hay. So cross our fingers that this works, and we can get BB back on track. And I really think she could do a 25, like, based on how she did on the novice rides. Like, she was so, like, not being challenged, obviously. I think she really could do a 25, so we'll just see how it goes. I'm gonna do what's best for her, so if she is not ready by then, we'll try again next year. But anyways, I think that's about all I have for today's topics and chatting with you guys today. But yeah, thank you guys for listening. I'm definitely leave some suggestions down below. Leave your questions down below so that you could be featured in the future episodes. Oh my gosh. This morning, I have to tell you guys, just because I need to tell somebody about this, I stubbed my toe last night, and I have never stubbed my toe to the point that I feel like I actually may have fractured it or, like, broke it. It hurts so bad. Oh my gosh. I'm, like, trying to bend my toe right now. It's my pinky toe on this foot. I'm not gonna, like, show you my feet, because you gotta pay for that these days. And I ain't giving no free feet pics away. But I stubbed my toe on this box here, this corner of the box, last night trying to get to my bathroom. And, you just have, like, this surge of rage when you stub your toe. But I was like, did my little, like, groan thing and just moved on with my night, because I wasn't going to dwell on it. But, oh my gosh, like, I was brushing my teeth in the bathroom and stuff, and I was like, it still hurts. Holy cow. Like, I can't lift my toe, and it really hurts to bend my toe. Oh my gosh. So I was like, maybe I just really got it. And so I went to bed and whatever, woke up this morning. Oh my god, it hurts so bad. It's so swollen. It's, like, blue compared to my other pinky toe. And, like, it still hurts, like, to walk on and put my shoe on. Like, I have never stubbed my toe to where it's hurt more than, like, 5 minutes. And holy cow, I got it. And just on this cardboard box. Like, it wasn't even on my bed or anything. I was like, it didn't even hurt that bad in the moment when I stubbed it. I just kind of, like, did my little rage, like, grunt of pain, and then was like, okay, moving on. So I'm very surprised that it's like this today, but I don't know what I did to it. I hope it's better in a couple days, because, like, I got work to do outside and stuff, and I need to be walking around. So yeah, suggestions, let me know. I put this stuff on it this morning. It's this cream called Penetrate. I got this a couple years ago it's from Melaleuca, because my friend used to sell Melaleuca, and so I bought some, to support her and whatever. It actually really works. It's expensive. Like, if you go on Amazon or something to buy it, it's, like, kind of expensive, but it does work, I will say. So I slathered it all over my toe this morning, and so it's a little less painful than it was, but man, it hurts. So pray for me that my toe gets better. And don't stub your toe, friends. I wish you a good day. Try not to stub your toes, and let me know what you think about all that down in the comments below. Thank you guys so much for listening. I hope you enjoyed. I'm gonna try and have a podcast episode out twice a week. So I'm gonna schedule this one to go up tomorrow. I'm thinking Mondays and Thursdays, if I can pull it off. I'm not promising, You guys know with my schedule, it's kind of like my YouTube is whenever I can post a video, I post a video. But I'm going to try to have 2 episodes a week for the podcast. So let me know what you think about all that down below, and I hope you guys a happy school year, a happy end of your summer, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.